from the Wicomico Conservative Republican Women. Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. There's so many people here. I'm used to just being the timer and being backstage. My name is Jana Hobbs. I am the current secretary of the club. We are grateful that there are so many of you here to listen and make your informed decision about these wonderful candidates. We have so many candidates. We do have some bonus speakers tonight. No direct questions from the audience to the candidates. They're literally just going to give you a 5-minute platform on where they stand. If you have further questions after that, you are more than welcome to address them afterwards, after we're all done. And we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We are going to continue with a prayer. Betty Worth, as listed in the program, was unable to make it, so I have asked Susan Beecham, one of our members, to give us a prayer to start our evening. Come on up here.
Thank you all for coming. Heavenly Father, we welcome you here tonight to this forum. We ask that you bless each candidate as they speak. Bless each citizen in this room as they listen and learn. But above all, Lord, we ask that you keep your hand upon the future elections. We thank you for the food that's been prepared. Bless it, sanctify it, keep its nourishment in our bodies and our bodies to your service. In the precious name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Okay, so let's get going. I am pretty sure most of you know Mike Bradley, but let me give you a little information about him in case you don't. Mike is the morning show host, sports director, imaging director, community liaison person, and an account executive for 92.7 and 98.5 WGMD Radio. He will be celebrating his 10th anniversary at the station in late August. He has been in radio coming up on 18 years. He works part-time doing sports talk in Baltimore. Born and raised in Baltimore, he lived on the shore for 17 years, but is far from a stranger. He has been coming down to the beach and spending summers on Delmarva since he was 3 months old with a family place in Ocean City. He's been married for 3 years, and they have a 7-month-old daughter who is now sleeping through the night, and I think we can all appreciate that. So, Mike, I'm going to hand it over to you, sort of.
Janet, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And it's great to be here tonight. I want to thank the Wicomico Conservative Republican Women, the Parsonsburg Fire Hall as well for having us tonight. You know, on my ride in from the station, our station's located west of Lewis and Rehoboth, and as I was coming down Millsboro Highway and surrounded by so much beauty, I again was reminded, as we all are, of how fortunate we are to live where we do on Delmarva. And I'm back and forth between the beach and inland, so I get the best of both worlds, every day, depending on where my schedule takes me and where I'm laying my head down. Most times, usually with my daughter, who's going to be almost 8 months, and she's been such a blessing to Brooke and I, and we've been very blessed to be here on the Delmarva Peninsula. Just a little bit about, and you gave a little bio, just a little bit about the radio station, because our station's been around for 42 years. It'll be July 25th. We weren't always, though, a news talk station. We were a music station for about half that time, and we've been news talk for about 20-some years. But in December of last year, we purchased the 98.5 frequency, which has enabled us to certainly further our reach in local news, talk, and sports. And as someone who's been doing the morning show for, it'll be 9 years in October, 10 in total at the station next month, to me, this was something that was really, this was Christmas for us, and it did come a little bit early on December 1st, because it'll enable us to continue our reach. And as we stand here today in Wicomico County, mostly the time that I spent doing mornings was primarily covering Sussex and Worcester counties, but now this will enable me to cover Wicomico County much more in the days and the weeks and the months ahead, which I'm looking forward to doing. Yeah, as you know, certainly some of you, and I've been doing my best. I know I've not been able to have all of the candidates on that are running, and they're numerous, which I think is something that we ought to be very, very happy about. And I think that's a great sign, and hopefully this is just the beginning of the turnout for folks running for office and for those that are engaged. But with all that, I've done my best to get as many candidates on as possible. We still have a couple of days left, and I'm going to do my best to do so. But just know that in terms of coverage of Wicomico County, whether it be the county council, the Board of Ed, county executive, whatever it may be, state's attorney, that we will be adding that coverage to my morning program. And certainly in the news, we've been covering Wicomico County and others, and we'll continue to enhance that. Also, I know with some that are going to speak tonight, they represent districts not just here in Wicomico, but also in Carolina, Dorchester, and Talbot. So we're looking to expand our reach. Also, if there's anything that I can do, and I've got some business cards with me, we have to update them now with the new frequency, but if you go to thetalkofdelmarva.com, you'll see my email address there. Going forward, if there's anything that I can do in terms of having you on the air, pushing an event, promoting an event, I should say, anything that we can do, please feel free to reach out, and we'll do my very best to help you out in that endeavor. As I was talking during the portion of getting to know the candidates and having a little food, which we appreciate those that have brought that tonight, I think that this kind of turnout, this is outstanding, and this is what we need. And we were talking about the fact that it starts locally. I think for way too long we've been under the impression that, hey, it's a top-down approach, and that's not the case. That right here locally, we can have some of the biggest impact in our communities, that we don't have to wait on Washington, D.C., but that from Annapolis down to our county councils and our school boards and our municipal boards, so on and so forth, that we can make a real difference here, and that there's a lot more power here locally than we may realize. So I hope that's something that we'll continue to realize and we'll take advantage of. And I know that even during my show, that school board elections hadn't been something that I had really covered for about 9 years. That came to an end last year, and for the last 8 to 10 months, it's been something I've been pushing hard on. So again, I just hope that this is the start of something really big here. But I want to thank everybody that's come out and all the candidates. Jana, you've provided an excellent forum tonight, and I'm glad that so many have decided to show up. So without further ado, we want to start with a special guest that's in the audience, and we want to thank Nicole Bennett, the first vice chair of the Maryland GOP, for attending tonight. So a round of applause, please, for Nicole. What I want to do next is the introduction of the Central Committee candidates. And as your name is called, if you could just stand and wave and let everybody know who you are. First one up was unable to attend. Wendy Ansparker was unable to attend tonight. But first up, Barry Beauchamp. Beecham, I'm sorry. We'll see. So you have to work on that for next time. We didn't cover it. So, yep. I will write that in. There you go. So, all right. Next up, I think I have this right. John Cannon. Paul Chesnick. Paul here? Maybe not. Okay. David Cooper. Larry Dodd? Are you with us tonight? Okay. David Ennis. Here's David. Linda Forrestal. Here's Linda. Julie Giordano. Ralph was unable to attend tonight. Jessica Hughes. Patrick Kerr. Okay. Linda Luffman. Okay. Mark McIver, is that correct? Okay. John Palmer.
He has a Board of Ed meeting.
Okay.
He's excused.
James Parsons. And I know this next gentleman's here because I saw him early on. James Wynn.
Okay, so each candidate will have 5 minutes to speak on their platform and positions. There will be no questions directed at the candidates during that time frame. If we did that, we would never leave. Okay, there's a lot of them. If you have other questions, you may speak to the candidate on an individual basis. Most of them have name tags. This is also not a place for negativity or speaking of candidates personally. Please remain positive about the election in your remarks. Personally. The 5 minutes will be strictly adhered to. I will be timing each candidate so that it remains fair. If you were at the state's attorney's forum debate, you know that I'm very strict with the time because I was there, so we will be absolutely strict on time. And back to Mike.
And follow Beth's role at Worcester County a couple months ago. So Beth did a good job with that. All right, so we're going to start with the introduction of candidates by district. And for District 1, Wicomico County Council. I'm sorry.
Pause.
Did you want to? Okay. Okay, we had that there. Very good. All right, well, we will get to that in just a second. But first up, if she's not here at the moment, but yeah. You can just read that. Okay, so due to a scheduling conflict, Addie Eckert, who's running for state senate, will be running late. She'll make her remarks after the candidates speak. But next up, Johnny Mounts, state senate candidate.
Thanks, Mike.
Yep.
And it's awesome to see everybody here tonight. And I know there's a time constraint, so I won't take up all my 5 minutes. It's great to be here with everyone. My name's Johnny Mounts. I'm currently a state delegate, and this year I made the difficult decision. I took my time. I looked at where the voters were, and after doing a careful study, I saw that it was the right time to file for the state senate. It's been an honor to serve in the House of Delegates. I've been a strong, clear voice for Eastern Shore principles and values. I want everybody in this room to know, in the Senate, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to fight for us. Now, I see a few priorities I want to share with you. The first one is the size of our government, the way it's spending money, the way it's collecting money. Last year, our state budget grew 10% on federal money. Now, next year, that money's not going to be there, and they're going to be coming for us to get that money. In the Senate, I'm going to try to defend us with everything I can from the government from taking more and growing more. Education is a huge problem right now. Critical race theory, gender politics, socialization in our schools, it's got to stop. Now, there's a fight going on locally. That's where you win the fight, but the pressure's coming from Annapolis. I've seen it firsthand. I stood up to it in the House of Delegates. I'll stand up to it in the Senate. I have 2 children, a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old. I've seen it as they've gone through school, and I've seen it through their friends. And it's nothing that I'm going to tolerate or let pass by. Another very important topic that has got to be a priority for the state of Maryland is not police revenge, which they call police reform, but it's funding our police, supporting our police, and our first responders. The message that's coming out of Annapolis is inciting what we're seeing in the streets. And we've had it on the shore, it's happening on the western shore, and it's got to be addressed. I will stand up and I will fight for that. Now, most importantly, our civil liberties. We've just been through a crisis through COVID. All the rules, all the guidelines, all the guardrails, they've all been blurred. That's got to stop, and I'll stand up for that in the state Senate. And lastly, our Second Amendment. It's been a hellacious year. Everybody's talking about guns. The fundamental principles of the Second Amendment aren't what's causing the carnage. It's the criminals and the things that are driving the criminals to do the carnage. And until we change those policies, no ban, no restriction is going to stop what's happening. Now, I've tried to be all over our district, District 37, over the past 8 years. It includes District 37A. I'm in 37B, includes District 37A. I'll do that in the state Senate. I'll be there for you. If you ever feel that you need me or your family feels that you need me. And I am 100% committed to this, and I'm going to give the job everything I have to give. My opponent is a very good friend of mine. I have so much respect for her. But the fact of the matter is she's been in Annapolis 28 years and has turned into part of the Annapolis establishment. I'm going to give you 2 good examples. Supporting the Kerwin bill, the blueprint for Maryland's future, the the largest tax increase in our state's history, and being the only Republican to vote to give illegal aliens taxpayer money. That, to me, you've got to draw the line. I will draw that line, and I will stand for that line. And I want to thank everybody for the time, and hopefully I've reserved a little bit to pass on to my colleagues. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless the Eastern Shore.
Johnny Mounts. Johnny, thank you. Next up, we have Nicole Ackley running for the State House of Delegates, candidate 37B.
I didn't realize I would be speaking tonight. I am not Joe Holloway, though my name is said. I'm Nicole Ackley. I'm running for a state delegate in District 37B. I'm currently on the Wicomico County Council, representing District 2, which is the most rural area that bumps up to Dorchester County. And when Delegate Mouse decided to leave his position and run for the Senate, and there was an open spot, I saw that there was this disconnect between our local and state government. Fortunately, with him, as a Republican on the county council, we were always able to reach out to him and share our concerns with education, because we saw this all coming. This was all coming 4 years ago when I started, and it was good to have that voice who was listening and who cared. But we need to have more representation on the Eastern Shore and knowing what's important to us. Making sure that we uphold our constitutional rights and the economy. I mean, right now our gas tax and our diesel fuels is killing our fishermen and our farmers, and we need to address that. So I thank you all for coming out. I don't want to take up too much time, because being in local government, I can tell you this is where it's at. Your county council representatives, this is where you feel the government impacting you the most. So it is absolutely crucial that you hear them, you make an informed decision on who you want to vote for. Same as our school board members. The school board has more power, I think, than they realize, and we need strong representation that is not afraid to push back against the state. So thank you, God bless, and enjoy the evening.
Thanks, Nicole. Next up, Ron James, who's also running for State House of Delegates 37B. There he is.
First off, thank you for letting us be on your show last night. I'm Ron James. I'm running for District 37B. I am originally from Dorchester, raised in Caroline, but I like Wicomico. Third or fourth generation Eastern Shore boy. I'm going to set this up here if you can see it. I don't have an I love me wall in my house. I have no plaques, no citations, no everything I get, I could care less. I'm not a for me guy. I'm a for you guy. I'm not going to Annapolis to fight for you, because that's like taking a knife to a gunfight. There's too many of them over there. I'm going to Annapolis to work for you. You got to work with these people. We're going to have to come up with compromises, and I don't mind compromising. If they want a sidewalk in Washington County, give me something here on the Eastern Shore for it. I will work for you people. I love the Eastern Shore. I was born here, raised here. I listen to people. And if you want to get in politics, be what I am, small town mayor. Don't be the governor, don't be the president. They've got people. My people is me. Anything that needs done in my small town is me. So I know government. Please, I'd like your support. Nicole and I, we feel the same on just about every issue. Thank you.
Ron, thank you. Next up, Doug Marshall wants to speak about the election. Doug, with us? Okay. Sure.
Well, thank you for that introduction. I was not quite prepared, but I am going to say something. What's important about this election, and I'm edited a little bit better than a typical Doug Marshall. What's important about this election is to understand what's happening in Wicomico County. We're losing entrepreneurs at an alarming rate. when the president of Swed moves to Berlin, when the president of the major brokerage moves to Berlin, when most people my age are moving to Berlin, it's very important to understand, and Worcester County, it's very important to understand what you stand for. So I came to really question one of the candidates tonight, and I was asked not to do that, so I won't do that. However, I was raised here in Wicomico County. At age 13 and a half, I won the Sir Optimus International Award for giving all the money I had saved to a local family when their house was burned out. I was 13 and a half years old, and I was home. I got the call from I saw the story on WBOC, and I said, I'm going to give all the money I have to this family. And I forgot about it until recently. But what's important for these candidates to understand is that there's a lot of social media anarchy out there who are attacking people like myself. And it hurts us. And so entrepreneurs, I see a room full of you. I probably know 90% of you by name. There's some candidates that are running that are attacking entrepreneurs, and it's causing a purge of these entrepreneurs. So I want to understand the power of social media is really crippling our little community. Please understand, we are on the cusp of losing most entrepreneurs to our adjoining county. Once that happens, these dirt bikes, everything else you see is prevalent. Most importantly, Matthew Hecook. I just want to give you an update on Matthew Hecook. At age 14, in about 90 days, we are settling on Matthew Hecook's house in his trust. So because of people like us and you, we are able to buy a 14-year-old his first house, which will stabilize him for life. So I just want to could you give yourself a round of applause for that? So thank you. And I was named as a financial trustee of Matthew, and we invested the money properly because of a lot of these faces here. Anyway, so I just want to say something about the social media. It's very dangerous. We need to make sure that we tamp it down as as these officials. Thank you.
I'm not sure if it doesn't. Can you tell them that they can pick up the mic?
All right, Doug, thank you. And by the way, you can pick up the mic as you come up here in case folks have a tough time hearing. I'm usually a loud talker, so I don't have that issue generally, and my wife reminds me of that all the time. So we've got an introduction of the candidates running for Wicomico County Council, and District 1, Kyle Cole, was unable to attend, so we will go to District 2, and we don't believe Jasmine Knorr is present tonight. So Jeff Merritt, Jeff, if you're ready to go, you're up next. No. Yeah. Just the way it is on the sheet.
Yeah. So, good evening, everybody. Everybody hear me? All right, I see a thumbs up back there. So, my name is Jeff Merritt. My wife and I own Minuteman Press in Salisbury, Maryland. I'm also the founder of Operation We Care, a nonprofit organization that supports the military and first responders. Why am I running for county council? I have absolutely no idea. So, and I'm honest about it, I am probably the farthest thing from a politician than anybody in this room. I'm a business owner, and to Doug's point, he's 100% spot on. I read a report yesterday that 35% of the small business owners in the country were not able to make their rent or mortgage payment in the month of June. That's a staggering number. Now, that doesn't mean 35% in Salisbury. Don't freak out, because I got called on that yesterday. I said, no, this is nationwide. Metropolitan areas, it's higher. Houston, it's 44%. I hope that's not a trend. We all know there's workforce issues. My platform is simple. We need to get people back to work. We all want good schools. It's no secret that I support the law enforcement. I'm not going to drone on about that. I was honored to sit with Doug Marshall on the planning team for Glenn Hilliard's funeral. When I got a phone call from the Maryland Special Operations Command Director and said, I've heard your name 100 times in the past 3 days, we need to know each other, I took that as a compliment. I love working with people, I love solving problems, but I will tell you that in a successful negotiation, nobody gets everything they want. Everybody's got to compromise. We got to meet in the middle. And I'm going to relinquish, like Johnny, I'm going to relinquish some of my time. I believe in short, sweet, to the point. Doug, you're spot on, buddy. Quit the mudslinging. I'm very active in the Chamber of Commerce, and I've lost count of how many times in the past 2 weeks I've heard comments about people slinging mud at each other. Just quit it. It's not helpful. I will answer any question that anybody has offline. I will try and give you a good answer, but whatever answer you get, it will be an honest answer. I'm truthful. I'm ethical. We print for Republicans and Democrats. All their money's the same color. Nobody gets put in front of anybody else. Anybody that knows me knows I'm really fair. I'm fair to our employees. I'm fair to everybody I work with. It's the only way we can move forward, and we need to move forward. There's projects in this county that we need to work on, the airport, the water, sewer, schools. I don't have kids in school, but the outcome of the schools become our employees. And when you get kids that can't read or write, I don't know what's being taught in school, but I know they're not teaching them life skills. They got to know how to change a tire on a car. They got to know how to iron a shirt. That's what we need to be teaching these kids. And add, subtract, write. You know, I see it every day. All the business owners I work with, I'm active in the Chamber of Commerce, over 600 members. I hear it every single day from business owners. I cannot get good help. We got to fix that. Anyway, thank you for your time. Jana, Mike, thank you for this forum. What time am I on? 2:30. See? Told you. A minute and a half. How quick was that? Thank you all.
Well, it's good to know if I don't cut it in this radio thing after 18 years, I've got a job, I think. Plenty out there. All right, next up in District 2, David Snyder. David?
When I heard about this venue, I was so happy. This really is my old stomping ground, believe it or not. I grew up on Dogwood Drive. I'm 66. Me and Johnny Kane went to school together. We had a good science teacher and later principal guy named Norm Conway. Of course, he may have been a Democrat, but he was a stellar in the community. My aunt was Hilda Calloway. She had Calloway Gardens. I'm sure some of you all may remember Calloway Gardens back in the day on Williams Mill Pond Road. She started having problems with her kidney, so we moved out there in 1969. One of the first guys I met out here to play football in the cow fields was a guy named Steve White, the fire chief. Dear friend, many years, and sadly missed by this department and this community. After high school, I got involved in law enforcement for maybe 7 years. Had a little bit of fender bender. Decided to go back to school. I got a degree in agronomics and horticulture from the University of Delaware. I also did a tenure at Longwood Gardens. I came right back to this area. My farm was 40 acres right down the road here. I also sold plants, took many to Parsonsburg mailbox to ship them out. I met people like Lou Raleigh, another good influence on myself. I used to go to Jerry Elliott's. It was my second office. You might remember Jerry Elliott's or Dave's in Pittsville. Joe Holloway's. The reason I say that is because I always like to talk to people. I'd meet my vendors there. I'd meet my employees there. I like to hear what was going on in the community and even in my own business. You know, I can honestly say 80% of Winter Place was built by my firm, working with Andrew Bradley and Tom Ruark. And doing this, I had a lot of problems. County and city never agreed on regulations. My business was stigmatized because of nutrient management. A lot of bureaucracy to bring money in, which is, a lot of it is necessary, but it caused a lot of problems, and it opened my eyes. And in 1990, when I lost a big contract, I still kept my 15 employees fed and doing good. I decided to make a run for politics. In 1990, after I put my name in the hat, lo and behold, 2 weeks later, my guidance counselor, Ken Matthews, decided to run. I'm sure you all remember Ken from this area. He was a great county councilman. Now, of course, Joe Holloway is a good councilman as well. But I actually told Ken, I said, if I had known you were going to run, sir, I would never run. You were my mentor. You were the person that told me how to do things and helped me get my scholarships, etc. He said, David, well, I'm glad to see a young businessman like yourself being interested enough. So that's when I got involved in politics. You know, with my nursery, I worked with Lower Shore. I got the physically disabled jobs, filling my pots because it could do repetition. Later, I worked for Go-Getters with Dick Bierman, working with the substance abuse and mentally challenged. And there's still a lot of stigma against these people, and it needs to change. I look at like the opioid crisis, and we need to work on that. COVID has made mental health a lot worse. We need to work on that. But it's an illness and a disease. We need to fund that. Then my next interesting point is not a person that believes in all this climate change, but going around the community, District 5 is a lot like District 2. It's all agriculture. Primary, 80% of its land masses. We have sewer problems, we have erosion problems, we have water problems, we have climate change where the yields are getting smaller. I would like to come up with some comprehensive plan for my next 4 years to work on this. And that's my main goal. Would you all rise for me for my last minute, please? And I'd like you to all sing one of my favorite songs with me by Kate Smith. God Bless America. I think you all know it. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean, wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. I think that may warrant a mention tomorrow morning on the morning show. That's the first time, but that's very good. That's very good. Thank you, sir. All right, as we move on to District 3, Shane Baker is up.
A singer I am not. No singing. So I'm Shane Baker, running for District 3. I'm married. Been married to Marie Baker for 20 years. 2 kids that both attend the Wicomico County Public School System. I retired from the Wicomico County Sheriff's Department. Started my career at the detention center for 4 years, then moved on to the Sheriff's Department and retired. Currently a law enforcement officer in Worcester County. So I guess the big question is, why do you want to run for county council? Well, when I left Wicomico County, I wasn't really ready to leave it. So I said, I looked into it and I said, it's something I can do. I know a lot of people. I made a lot of contacts. I was a school resource officer for many years in the public school system. I worked road patrol many years. So I decided to run. A lot of the things that I support and believe in is the Constitution, transparency, law enforcement, obviously. First responders now more than ever need our support. That's what I intend to do. Fiscal responsibility. I run my household tight. That's the way I would run the taxpayers' money tight. But that's me, no singing. I appreciate y'all having me. Thank you.
Thanks, Shane. All right, Kyle Brown's not present for District 4, or is he? Okay, very good. All right, we had okay. Yeah, of course. All right. Is Larry Dodd here? I know before we made mention he was not. Okay. All right, sorry. Kyle, you're up, District 4.
Hi guys, nice to meet y'all. My name is Kyle Brown. I recently graduated from Parkside High School, and in Parkside, we really didn't learn a lot of stuff in there. Like, I'm gonna keep it honest with y'all. I love Parkside. I played football there. I played wrestling. I did lacrosse. I did 3 sports, but the whole time I was there, there was always drama, fights, people yelling at teachers, teachers yelling back, cussing at teachers. Honestly, I just want to see our school system get better than what it is right now. And I know y'all have been seeing these dirt bikers on the road and everything. I think we should use the money, use the old mall parking lot and make a lot over there for them or something so they can stay off the roads and so that people can drive safer. Because I've been seeing them a lot all over the place. I used to live on the west side, so I used to know them, but I don't know them like that no more. I used to want to be one of them, but I was like, no, I got away from that when I got to high school. And now that I moved on from the dirt bikes, I want to see them go somewhere else where it's more safer than on the road, on the highways and everything. And I kind of want to see our money in District 4 get a little bit more spread out, because where I live at in District 4, they put a roundabout in my neighborhood. And last night, I actually went outside last night to put something in my truck, and I seen a car go straight through the roundabout, and like she hit the speed bumps, and it sounded like her tire popped. And like she didn't even go around. And then this morning, I almost seen 2 accidents in a roundabout. Our roundabout we shouldn't have a roundabout. We really shouldn't. And our speed bumps on South Boulevard is getting out of hand because people don't even slow down at 15 miles per hour. They go at least like 30, 35 over them and just go jump them. Like, I really don't like that. I would like to see our money spread out and let it be a little bit more accountable in District 4. Like, help the community a little bit better than what's going on right now. I recently just left Checkers rallies. I just left from there. I was there for 6 months, and the whole time I was there, I was seeing like a bunch of homeless people come up there for food. Our owner tell us not to give them food, but I would wait. I'll tell them come back at 12:30, and I'll take food out there to them. I was like, I know how it is to be homeless and how not to have food. So my name is Kyle. Thank you for having me.
Well, I think we can all agree it's great to have young candidates get involved in the process. Absolutely. And as I talked to one of the younger candidates earlier, it reminded me how I've gotten older and how much older I am. Yeah. All right. Next up, District 5, AJ Angelo. Angelo. Yeah. I need to get pronunciation, guys. Yeah.
Sorry. You're good. Well, it's nice to follow up someone else who's so young, too. Makes me feel a little more comfortable. And that's part of my speech. Coming up here in front of you all today, you might be looking at me and wondering, why is this kid running? He's just recently legally able to drink. He's still in college, minimal political background. So I'm here today to tell you why I'm running. I'm running to give back to this county. I grew up here. As young as I may be, I've lived here my entire life, and this county has been nothing but good to me. And now I believe it is time for me to give back. I want to give the voice back to the people and lean on the constituents to address issues in this county. As you know, I'm not an established politician, so I really want to lean on the people and get their concerns. When I go door knocking or I'm out speaking to people in public, I'm not talking their ear off, telling them why I'm the best person in the world or vote for me. I'm asking, what can I do to help you if I'm elected? What issues do you have for the county? I also want to bring a light to local government. Recently, more than ever, people look at politicians with distrust. I want to restore the trust between the citizens and the people we represent through increased transparency and communication. As a successful business owner, locally recognized personal trainer, and 4.0 college student, I understand how to get things done. I also understand that there are limitations to how fast things can be done in government. However, these limitations are exponentially increased when we are not working together. If elected, I will work together with my peers on the council, the county executive, local municipalities, and anyone else who may be involved. With recent events, a light has been casted on local law enforcement and our first responders. I believe our law enforcement and our first responders should be on the front of our minds all the time. They do so much to keep us safe, and they risk so much for us. If elected, I will support law enforcement and our first responders. They need the resources and support necessary to do their job safely and efficiently. Through conversations I've had with local fire departments, volunteers, including this one, it's clear that there are things that are holding them back. Without the necessary tools, our fire departments and EMS staff are struggling to do their jobs and save people's lives. It's time we hear their concerns and stand with them. Also, as we've spoken about a little bit, as inflation rates rise, gas prices skyrocket, price tags on grocery store trips shoot through the roof, now more than ever, our people need high-paying local jobs that will allow them to put food on the table for their families. Economic development in our county is essential to keep these high-paying jobs and allow people to do just that. We should be making it easier for our small businesses to operate instead of putting more restrictions, and we should give them support, especially with the backbone of our county. Our farmers and our watermen, they do so much for us, and they need more support and should be able to operate without constant fear of losing their jobs, especially to foreign companies. Furthermore, our airport, the second biggest in the state of Maryland, is slowly on the decline. The airport has the potential to provide so many jobs for our local area and bring so much business for us. Such an integral part of our local economy needs more attention. Also, as a personal trainer who works mostly with middle school and high school age kids, I'm constantly reminded of the struggles of our youth. During the pandemic, kids were stuck inside, at home, not being held accountable, and had minimal social interaction. And now, there's a mindset shift that's ensued. Our teachers need the tools necessary to keep our youth on a path to success, and our kids deserve the necessary support to set them up for their futures. Kids with broken homes also need another outlet. After-school programs are something that we really need to support and give these kids somewhere to go where they can really develop into future stars. I want to thank the Wicomico County Republican Women for organizing this event today and the Parsonsburg Fire Hall for having us. And it's time for a strong new voice to represent District 5. Thank you.
AJ, thank you. And obviously, as we talked about with the expansion of covering Wicomico County, I've got names to get down, so we'll get that. So bear with me. All right, next up from District 5, Joe Holloway.
Good evening and welcome to Parsonsburg, my hometown. Glad to have everybody show up tonight. We don't get a lot of excitement in Parsonsburg, but anyway, it's probably the biggest thing that's happened in the past few days. I want to, again, thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak. Wicomico's been my home all my life, and I got elected. When I first got elected, I decided, what do you do? So you look at how money is being spent, because unfortunately, that's where it all comes from. Money has to drive the county government. Prior to running for office, I served with the Civic Center Commission and the Charter Review Committee and attended numerous county council meetings, which gave me a feel of how our local government worked and some of the pressing needs for our citizens of our county. After being elected, I found that I really like helping people at a large scale and a small scale. What may have seemed to be a minor problem for some people is incredibly stressful for someone else. Whether it's an inappropriate book at a school library, a ditch that needs cleaning out because it's flooding their yard, information they may need to help to build a new home, or something like VA benefits that suddenly stop, so you connect them with someone that can help them. County council can't do that, but they sure know where to go to help people. Anyway, I've made numerous home visits, hundreds of phone calls dealing with citizens for issues big and small. And I've been known to go clear out storm drains, pick up trash along the road, and I've even driven the snowplow when we were short-staffed during. So anyway, whether it's federal or state taxes taken out of their paycheck each week or county property taxes, we on the council are in charge of allocating those monies for betterment of our citizens. I've been labeled by the media and fellow council persons as the most conservative member of the council. My goal is to make sure we responsibly use all the tax dollars we receive. I have and will continue to dig out wasteful use of county funds. One of the first examples I had when I came on the county council was a $27 ink pen that the county was buying. I see John shaking his head over there. It was a big deal at the time. Doesn't seem like, but they were the county executive's office was buying $27 ink pens to hand out as gifts. Seems like something small, doesn't it? Well, it just shows you how mismanagement can cost. The next thing that come along is the Rec and Parks came to us and they wanted to spend $2 million on 100 acres of farmland to put a park. And I got thinking, it's a lot of money for 100 acres of farmland. So I made a few phone calls, and about a half a mile down the road, we found another 100 acres for $1 million, half the price. Now you talk about management, you're getting back to that. That land's still sitting there. It's never been used. $1 million in taxpayers' dollars spent. So anyway, since being on the council, I've served on the MAC Commission, PAC 14 Board, School Building Commission, been a representative of the Maryland Association of Counties, served on the Airport Commission, the Salisbury-Wicomico Economic Development Commission, and have helped resurrect the Women's Commission and establish the Youth Advisory Council. And for you folks running for county council, if you think it's a 2-meeting-a-month job, you're going to be expected to serve on these commissions. It's not 2 meetings a month, so be ready. While I've been in the office, the county has funded new state's attorney's office. We've built 4 new schools.
1 minute.
Okay. And done major renovations on 2 others. And recently fully funded the new public safety complex. All of this done while holding the line on property taxes and even lowering them in some cases. Right, John? Yep. Okay. We've done this while fully funding all of our departments, including fire, EMS, and the Sheriff's Department. With the passing down of state mandates such as Kerwin and the looming possible recession, and we all know that may be coming, we hope not, such as we experienced in 2007, 8, and 9, it's important to have an experienced council person that the citizens can rely on to make informed decisions. Plus, we have major initiatives such as broadband system and a sewer and water project that the county is presently working on. Always strive for improvements to our county roads and infrastructure, so perhaps you can see why I want to be reelected. Thank you. Yep. Worked out great.
Janet did promise me a really nice pen for coming out tonight, so I'll be expecting that. Oh, okay. All right, next up for the at-large seat, and Mr. Cannon was referenced a few times. John Cannon, you're up.
Good evening. How's everybody? Everybody good? All the way in the back. Everybody's okay, right? Very good. Got some thumbs up. That's great. Thank you to the Wicomico, not the Wicomico, but the Wicomico Conservative Republican Women's Group. Yeah, it is. It is. For sponsoring this and the Parsonsburg Fire Department for creating the venue for us. We really appreciate that. Again, my name is John Cannon. I'm running for Wicomico County Council at large. I am a native of Salisbury, grew up here, graduated from Bennett, received my bachelor's degree from Salisbury University. Currently, I am, and hopefully for the rest of my life, I am the owner of Cannon Enterprises and Cannon Management Rentals. We own and manage properties throughout the Lower Eastern Shore, in addition to have clients locally and some in different areas throughout the country. And we're doing very well. We got through COVID and all that, so that's a good thing. I have been on the county council about 12 of the last 16 years. So I have experience. I've been had the privilege of being president of the council 9 of the last 12 years, which is a great privilege for me to be able to try to lead the county and to try to lead the council in the best direction I think we want to go. Anybody that knows me will tell you that I'm conservative by nature. That's my compass. That's what I go by. They'll also tell you I'm very straightforward, very sincere, and I think more than anything is I try to work very, very hard no matter what I do, no matter what my responsibility might be, whether it's business, whether it's county government. But I do work hard. In business, I'm also a member of the Salisbury Area Chamber of Commerce. I'm an ex officio member of the Greater Salisbury Committee. And I'm also on the board of the Salisbury Area Property Owners Association. And when I'm not doing that, I have other committees that I'm on as far as representing the County Council, the Maryland Association of Counties. I'm on the executive board with that. I'm the chairman of the Tri-County Council. I'm on the Salisbury Wicomico Economic Development Committee, the Library Board of Trustees, the PAC 14 Board, and the Agricultural Extension Committee. So I tell you that because I do this because I like it, and I do it because I want to do it, and I do it because it's good for the county. And I do it because, as I said before, I work hard, and I think that's what elections are all about, right? I mean, you want to vote for somebody that you think believes in your principles. I think that's always important. But honestly, when that person gets in office, don't you want them to work hard? Don't you want them to do that job? Whether I'm serving in the county or whether we have someone who, whether we have individuals who are working on the state level, you always want that person to have, your best interest at heart. So that's my basic breakdown. The actual issues as far as county issues as a whole, Board of Education. I'm a huge supporter of the Board of Education. We've always fully funded the Board of Education, but I also believe in accountability, and that's important. You have to make sure you have that. I really want to see us continue to expand on pre-K. I visited these schools. I wasn't a fan of pre-K at first. I thought 5 years old is good enough to start, until I went to a Judy Center and saw 3- and 4-year-olds and saw how they were learning. And they're not only learning educationally, they're learning emotionally, and they're learning social skills all at the same time. It's fascinating. So I'd like to see us continue to do that. On the other end of that spectrum, as opposed to continue with college preparedness, et cetera, which is everyone focuses on, the CTE program, I want to see it go tenfold. I want to see it grow tenfold. I want to see the individuals who want to get out of high school and start their careers and start their companies too. Most people think you go to CT, you're going to get out, you're going to start a job. No, you're going to start a career. And then you're going to own the company. And that's what I really want to see happening in Wicomico County. We need that throughout this county. And I think we know that. Other issue, public safety. Who cannot be in favor of public safety? 1 minute, I knew that's going to happen. Public safety, defended the police department, sheriff's department 1,001%. Always have, always fully funded them. Whether it's the capital budgets, whether it's the operating budgets, to make sure that when they go out on the street, they're safe. They have the uniforms they need, they have the protection they need, they have the cars that don't have 100,000 miles on them. And if anything should happen, they're also safe. They're going to have the benefits going to protect them, and the benefits going to protect their family. That's very important. Not only with the Sheriff's Department, we also have to look out for the volunteer fire companies. My God, if Wicomico County had to go to a paid fire department, can you imagine what would happen? It wouldn't be sustainable. So we need to treat these individuals with the respect that they deserve. Need to make sure they're funded. We put about $15,000 in addition this year for the fire departments, and another $50,000 in EMT, because we support them and we appreciate what they do. Outside of that, I'd love to see a grant writer in Wicomico County. A lot of money coming down from the federal level, a lot of money coming down from the state. Over the years, I'm afraid we've missed out on a lot of that. Is that my time? I think we missed out on a lot of it. I think Wicomico County needs to have a grant writer. That's important. Again, I'm John Cannon. I really would appreciate your support. I think I have the professional experience, the knowledge, and the understanding with officials, not only in the, you're pushing me off, I can see. So, thank you.
Tried to warn you.
Beth would have been up here about 10 seconds earlier, actually. So, all right. Next up is Katherine Jones.
Okay. Can everyone hear me in the back? Okay, I'll try to project as much as I can, and I'll try to look down. I promise you this look is just temporary, but I'd like to start by thanking our first responders. Because of them, I'm here tonight and doing well. So thank you so much for all that you do. I want to thank Wicomico Conservative Republican Women, and Jana, you're doing an amazing job this evening, and also Parsonsburg Volunteer Fire Company. So I'm Katherine Jones. I'm running for County Council at large, and again, I got to scoot down, I'm a little bit tall. And so who am I? I am the mother of 4 children. They all graduated from Mardella Middle and High School. 2 have graduated from Salisbury University, and 2 are currently attending Salisbury University. I've been happily married for 31 years to my husband, who's a heavy equipment and tractor mechanic, who has been at Chesapeake Nurseries for 36 years. So I am strong and steady. I hold true to traditional family values, and I'm also fiscally responsible, obviously raising 4 children. And so a lot of people don't know where part of my background is and what my education is. My original path in life was as an educator. My undergraduate degrees are in history. My graduate degree is in public school administration. I'm licensed as a special educator, as a history teacher, public school administrator 1 and 2. I earned my doctoral degree at Wilmington University in innovation and leadership in higher education. Not only have I been a public school teacher, I have also been a parochial school teacher. I've been administrator at Warwick Community College. I am an adjunct instructor at Salisbury University, still love history in that regard. And I'm also the executive director for Bay Area Center for Independent Living. We provide services for those with disabilities and also support their families. One of my proudest accomplishments is with Bay Area SIL. When I entered about 5 years ago, we were facing bankruptcy. And within 5 years, I was able to turn that nonprofit organization around to be worth over $2 million in assets, so we can continue providing more services to our community that truly needs more metropolitan services. I currently serve our governor on the State Rehabilitation Council, and I serve on Kennedy Grieger's Community Action Council. And the reason I serve at the state level is to make sure we have resources down here on the Eastern Shore. I also serve the City of Salisbury on the Disability Advisory Council, and I also reinstated, with the help of Nicole Ackley, the Commission for Women of Wicomico County. In addition to that, I served on the Charter Review Committee, and that was 9 months of reading the charter and figuring all of that out. And I feel like I've done the hard work to be able to run now for an elected position. So what is my platform? It's pretty clear. The first thing we need to do is unite Wicomico County, and that is my slogan, Wicomico United. And in order for us to do that, we need to do that in order for us to move forward with the master plan for water and sewage. We need to work together with our municipalities. We need to work together with the county executive and county council office and our elected officials to move this forward. I'm not just preaching it, I'm already working on it. I'm working with a subcommittee with water and sewer experts to look at resolving these problems. So if I am elected, I'm already ready to hit the ground running on this topic. The other thing I would like to do, of course, is to support the Blueprint for Maryland's Future, expanding pre-K programs. I've been involved with pre-K programs. I'm a huge advocate for the Judy Center. In addition to that, CTE programs. We need more vocational programs in our community. Most definitely. I look at the offshore wind industry and the lack of resources that we have to be able to develop master welders within our community. Of course, strongly support Warwick Community College so they can continue to implement more of the vocational programs once we move past the public school systems. And with that said, also, of course, rural broadband because of education. And so I just want to thank everyone tonight, and I really appreciate this opportunity to speak. Thank you.
Katherine, thank you. Next up, we've got Dutch Schwemline. I was going to get one tonight. I mean, odds were. And that's a hard one. Yeah.
Okay, I am not a public speaker, so if I get choked, I'm sorry, but here we go. As I was introduced, I'm Dutch Schwemline. I've lived in Wicomico County most of my life. Everybody has said they were born here. I moved here when I was very young by my parents' choice. So I think I'm local, but the locals don't call me local. I own a small business. I employ mostly young people, teenagers, and young adults. I have a swimming pool management business and swimming pool maintenance. We work almost exclusively in Wicomico County. I have 2 customers in Del Mar and 1 in Princess Anne. Everybody else is Wicomico County. I like to take care of where I am. You can't be every place, everything to everybody. I've been married 40 plus years. 3 children, 6 grandchildren. 3 children, 6 grandchildren. Some of them here, some of them on the Western Shore, but they all came through schools here. I don't have an official platform. Everybody says have a platform. I don't have specific things that I want to do. I want everybody to understand who I am. I'm a conservative Republican with libertarian leanings. Some people get afraid when you say libertarian leanings. Leanings. I'm not a hardcore libertarian. You do what you want in your house with the curtains closed. If we don't have to go in with police, EMS, you don't bring it out on the street. There's not minors involved. I really don't care what you do in your house. That's as far as my libertarian part goes. I think we all have the ability to take care of ourselves. Probably my founding for all of this is that the country was founded on the rule of law. We have an awful lot of stuff that goes on in this country. I don't know if too much of it local, but we all have to follow the same rules. The rules all have to be enforced equally. It always bothers me to see or hear that somebody's been given preferential treatment. Any of you that know me, I have my sign all lettered up with my name on it. If I was stopped for speeding and somebody said to me, we're not going to give you a ticket, you're running for county council, I'd say, no, give me a ticket if that's what you stopped me for. Everybody needs to be treated the same. The laws can't be different for different people for different reasons. The southern border might be a good example. We talk about illegal immigrants coming in, but we still let them come in. Another thing that has bothered me in national politics, and somebody spoke about this earlier, I think you did, Mike, we want to think of everything nationally, and we get aggravated with the national politics. But the local politics give us a chance to fix the things that are going wrong on a national level. We can fight back. Look what Virginia did with the school board. Look at what's happening here with the school board. The reason there's so many of us new running is because so many of us are frustrated with where we are. And I don't know how to express that except everybody can't be right or wrong. There has to be some meeting in the middle. We have to find a way to compromise. Compromise doesn't mean giving up your principles. It means giving up something that's not truly important to you to somebody that it is, to get something that is really important for you. There's a give and a take every place. We're not going to win every battle. We just need to make the battles win more on our side.
1 minute.
Okay. I've had several people ask me about public safety, law enforcement. I'm disturbed with the national trend to, I don't know what word to use, and I don't know if this is offensive, but to neuter the police systems. If we keep taking power away from them, they won't be able to do their job. If they can't do their job, it's going to get worse. We need to find ways that somebody spoke about the dirt bikes. I understand the dirt bikes are a safety concern for the police to enforce, but we need to, but we need to find a way to break that down. The last thing that I would say is anybody that knows me knows that I talk too much. I would be happy to have some kind of an open door policy, if elected, to meet with people that can be polite, considerate, non-hostile, So we need to hear these things and make things better. Right on the button for somebody that's not a public speaker. Thank you.
Dutch, thank you. Next up, James Wynn.
I guess they saved the best for last. Hello, my name is James Wynn, and I'm running for County Council at large. I first want to thank the fire department here tonight for letting us have this event here, and I would also like to thank the Republican Conservative Women for hosting it. After moving to Wicomico when I was 12, can you hear me? Can anyone hear me? Okay, after moving to Wicomico when I was 12, I started working for our family business, Acme Ceramic Tile Company. I attended the county schools, and after graduation from Parkside High School, I became a full partner in the business. We have showrooms in both Salisbury and Cambridge, and like most citizens in the county, I work hard, and when I can, I love to hunt and fish and enjoy the Eastern Shore way of life. I decided to run for office because I wanted to preserve that way of life. And I will work for the citizens of Wicomico County. Over the past 3 years, I have grown increasingly frustrated with the direction of our country. After the last election, I said to my dad, we need to do something. We might need to turn that off. I decided to join the Wicomico County Republicans. At one of my very first meetings, she's actually here tonight, I didn't realize that, Nicole Bennett, the first vice chair of the Republicans for Maryland, she was the speaker. Her speech was beautiful, but afterwards, I still raised my hand and I had to let her know how frustrated I was in this last election. She said, you know, I did my part in this last election. She looked at me and said, what did you do? And that's when it clicked. From that moment on, my perspective has changed. I realized that only a vote is not enough. Your vote is important, but I felt like I needed to do more to make a difference. I went on to start the Young Republicans with Julie Giordano, and I currently serve as the vice chair for that group. I then joined the Delmarva Conservative Movement. Where was I? And I have taken my Maryland and my federal Constitution class. Now, I think that's very important that anyone running for office takes their Constitution classes or is well aware of what it is going forward. But still, I felt called to serve the citizens of Wicomico County even more. I want to help improve things in our county, which is why I decided to run for a council seat. I want to pass legislation to provide funding and support for our first responders. I want to work to grow our local economy so Wicomico County can thrive and prosper. I have been campaigning since Christmas, and I've met lots of amazing people in this county. I have visited almost every single municipality. No, wait, I have visited every single municipality, almost every single fire department, and we have 15 fire departments in 10, I think it's 15, am I right? 15 fire departments in 10 municipalities. And if elected, I will continue to be a presence to unify our county so all the individual towns can work together on common issues. If elected, I would like to host regular opportunities for all of our municipalities to get together to share concerns and solutions. Wicomico is not just a series of individual towns, Salisbury, Delmar, Parsonsburg, Hebron, and so on. It is one county filled of wonderful people, and I want to serve you all. I've learned so much over the past year, and I have lots of ideas, and I believe I can bring a fresh perspective to the council. I hope I can own your vote. And if anybody wants to reach out to me, I have a website, jameswinforoffice.com, and I have a phone number. It's 443-944-5782. But anyway, thank you all, and I hope I can earn your vote. Thank you.
Thanks, James. Earlier, we heard from State Senate candidate Johnny Mounts. Addie Eckhart is with us, and she's here. And we'll bring her to the front.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you all very much, and it is a pleasure to be here with you. I apologize for being late, but I'm a member of the Lieutenant Governor's Commission on Behavioral Health and Substance Abuse Commission, and we were debating a change in the standard to be able to make sure that we can get those folks who have decompensated when they have their mental illness back on track and into treatment. So that's where I was, so I apologize for that. I'm Addie Eckhart, and I am running for State Senate for my third term. I have been there for 2 terms, and I've been focused on a number of issues: efficient government, decreased burdensome regulation, and oversight on our small businesses, because small business is essentially the heart of the Eastern Shore and actually the heart of the state. So it's really important that our small businesses thrive. And after being through the pandemic, that's been a little bit of a challenge with the workforce. I've also been concerned about health, education, and as a practicing psych nurse, it's been an ongoing concern with regard to how we address suicide, addiction, and mental illness. I've also this year particularly been focused on infrastructure. Because of where we've been and coming out of the pandemic, it's really important to me that we continue to extend broadband services to every family, and we're working on that. And it's really important as we look at the infrastructure with our roads and bridges to continue that, and then to work on our wastewater treatment situation. And you may have heard some of my ads with regard to that, because it's been woefully underfunded through the years. I serve on the Budget and Taxation Committee, and we oversee the budget, and then we look at all of the departments to see if in fact they are what's put in place by legislation is working. And we try to match up on the front lines, if you will, what's happening in the community with what's happening at the policy level. So in this past year, I have been very supportive of no mandates for vaccines, no masks. We have encouraged more child education with regard to parent involvement in our education system, because right now that's a major issue to make sure oversight on curriculum. But I think one of the things that's been missing in Maryland that this governor actually did put in was funding for infants and toddlers and early childhood education. You've heard a number of people talk about pre-K and early kindergarten, because if our children aren't ready to come to school to learn, we're going to wind up with problems. And you've seen that with the juvenile justice system and some of the reform and police reform, so that we're not going to have the mechanisms that we've had before, because there's a tendency to defund the police, if you will. We want to make sure that police are able to do policing, deal with the bad guys, but we also want to make sure that we have what's necessary for our pregnant moms and that early childhood rearing, because if you want good brain development, you better put the money up front rather than waiting till the kids get out of control. And that's one of the issues we're facing as we go into this next year, because we've lost some time because our kids have been out of school, and we've got to catch that up, and you all know what that's been about. So I'm out here, I'm running, and I've asked for your vote. I hope you will support me as I continue to represent you in Annapolis and on this Budget and Tax Committee. I am one of 2 women out of 15 Republicans in the Senate, out of 47. So we are outnumbered, and it's important that we increase our numbers of Republicans across the state so that then we can truly make a difference. We'll be able to deal with the overturn of the governor's vetoes when that happens. So I hope you will look at my credentials. I have a proven track record. I can get legislation passed, and I've been effective at the community level. So vote for me, Addie Eckert, on the 19th. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Eddie. Just some closing words for just a second. Again, I want to thank Jana for having us out, and the Wicomico Conservative Republican Club, and the Parsonsburg Fire Department. And I think, again, tonight, I mean, this is what it's all about. You know, in Parsonsburg, small town America, USA, people coming out because they care. And I won't say old, from young to middle age, we've got candidates across the spectrum, and that's really important. And for somebody like me, that gets up very early and goes on the air, and unfortunately, with the news, it's not always a positive start to the day, but this is very positive. This is very reinforcing to see folks that care about the community coming out, getting involved, not just talking about it, but actually getting involved with this. So you're all to be commended. I would also, though, please continue to ask you, because you're here because you care and you're involved. But please continue to spread the word about how important it is for folks to get involved locally, but also the importance of these local elections that we talk about, and primary elections as well. That's another thing that for far too long, primary elections have not been taken seriously enough. They are very, very important. In some cases, as we know, they are the general election. But even in cases where they're not the general election, they're very, very important because that person is... You want that person from your party, obviously Republicans, to be the best candidate to give yourself a chance to win in the general election. And if that's not the case, if you just say, well, I'll just vote for whoever the R is in the general, well, that might not have been the best candidate, and then you are at risk of having your party lose that election. But please just spread the word about the importance of local here, and it starts here. And I hope that it's not going to happen overnight, but that slowly but surely we have more younger candidates running, that we have more people come out for the primaries and for the school board elections. That's so, so very important. So you have to be the ambassadors to the rest of the community and those that need a little nudging and pushing about the importance of all this. But thank you so much, Nicole. Thank you for coming out tonight. Thank you for all that have come here tonight to make the trip. And I wish everybody a great rest of the election season, and here we're just a week away. So, thank you, Jen.
Thank you. I am absolutely overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed with the amount of people that are here. Thank you so much for coming. I am overwhelmed with the wonderful speeches I heard. I'm overwhelmed with the sheer amount of candidates that we have running on the Republican tickets. I just don't even know what to say in relation to that. Thank you for coming. I hope that this was informative for all of you. I do have a couple people I would like to recognize in the conservative Republican women's. I just can't speak. Virginia Schuler, would you stand up, please? Virginia Schuler is our current president and founding member of the Conservative Republican Women, and I think that's something to be said. I would also like to recognize my partner in crime, because we came up with this about 2 months ago on a car drive, and who knew what the two of us could do? Rebecca Tittemarry in the back. She's the hostess with the mostest, really. Can my other Republican women, can we all, the Conservative Club, can we stand up and thank you for your participation as well? If by chance, when you came in, you did not get an application to join our club, we are always accepting new members. You can hand your application to one of those people. We would love to have some fabulous people. We are having a wonderful speaker in August, and I'm so excited about that. So join us, come on board. Thank you to Mike Bradley for being a wonderful MC. Again, thank you to the Parsonsburg Fire Hall. As many of you said, Jeff Willis was instrumental in making this happen, so I appreciate him so much. And thank you. I think it's so funny that we have Mike, and in the back with Pack 14, we have Mark and Mike. So thanks to Mark and Mike back there with Pack 14. I hope that you have a wonderful evening and a safe drive home.
You forgot an important candidate here. We have House of Delegates 37A candidate Donna Bradshaw.
Oh, Donna. Come on up, baby. Your name was mentioned, but come on up. Do you have a little something to say to wrap us up?
I can say hi.
Okay.
Hi. I can say hi. I found out last minute, sorry. But what I want to say is I'm Donna Bradshaw. I am running for the delegate seat for 37A. A. Everybody in the world is B. I'm A. But guess what? You get a choice if you're A this time. You haven't had a choice in a while. You got a choice. I'm conservative. I'm Christian. I live in Reeds Grove, which is Vienna area. Not a Wicomico. I do work over here. But I'm trying to get more involved in Wicomico and learn more about all you guys. And I really appreciate you letting me have a say tonight. No, don't be sorry, honey. I wasn't going to take up other people's time. But thank you so much. And if you're from 37A and you have anything you want to talk to me about, by all means, find me. Thanks.
So now I conclude. Have a wonderful evening and a safe drive home. Ask your questions amongst your candidates if you would like to.